It's Leinster against the Ospreys. Neil Francis and Jim Glennon are with us. And Jim, Felipe Contepomi took a lot of criticism over last week's performance. Is it significant that he's been made captain tonight?
Yeah, I wouldn't have any doubt that it is. He was captain in the absence of Brian O'Driscoll earlier in the season. One bad game doesn't make a bad player, and it's a vote of confidence by Cheika in him. I was talking to some of the Leinster players yesterday, and they were saying that the way that Cheika and Knox fronted up this week and handled the whole grieving period, let's say, was very, very much appreciated. That they were very happy the way the whole thing had gone. But just hopefully it settles down tonight. Okay,
well, let's have predictions for this evening's game. Neil Francis, first to you. Ospreys have won the last 4 encounters with Leinster. What do you think will happen this evening?
They're still lacking a little bit of quality. The key to the game, as the one we saw prior there, was the a Welsh game with really, or a Welsh club with really nothing to play for. And I think if Leinster play their normal type of game and play with a little bit of attitude, they'll win out easy enough winners tonight.
Jim Glennon, what do you think? There's some big names in that Ospreys team, particularly in the back line.
There is. Gavin Henson's come back to see if he could find the cosmetic bag he left behind him when Wales played Ireland.
It's a nice sunny day. Got a real tan today.
Lovely sunny day. Well, maybe he can justify it today. If you look at him, you'd think this is the kind of evening he'd thrive on. I'd agree with Neil. The most important thing for me this evening is the attitude of the Leinster players, and they have to re-establish the fans' faith in them, and they can only do that with a gritty display. Hopefully it'll be delivered against the side that are short. They have a total of 9 unavailable players. If Leinster go down tonight, it is not the way to start the recovery.
Well, let's see how they go. Just 6 days back after the defeat to Munster at Lansdowne Road, out go the Leinster team to play against the Ospreys. We go to our commentary team of Peter McKenna and first Mark Robson.
Thanks, guys, and there is Eric Miller, his final home game for Leinster, returning at the end of the season. What a great servant he's been, and a well-rewarded round of applause for Eric Miller. Let's take a look at the Leinster team first of all and see the changes they've made. The 4 up front, Ronan McCormick and Bernard Jackman are playing in the front row for Blaney and Reggie Corrigan, who's got a calf strain. Adam Burns comes in for Bryce Williams, who's got a hand injury, and Miller for Cameron Joyett, who's got a back injury in the back line. Kieran Lewis replaces Brian O'Driscoll. And the Ospreys side, well, they've made one change in personnel from the win against Llanelli. Andy Lloyd in for Steve Tandy, who's injured. 2 positional switches. Tur Blanche back at fullback for Caruana, who moves to the wing. The referee is David Changleng from Scotland, and it's going to be Leinster to start. Well, last week Lansdowne Road was one huge red heartbeat, it seemed. At the end, Leinster felt as blue as their team colours, playing in white shirts tonight though, with blue sleeves, against this pretty talented Ospreys side, despite the fact, as they mentioned in the studio, they're missing 9 players, including 4 Lions, one of them Barry Williams, who played on the 97 tour. But hard to do without the likes of Shane Williams and Brent Cobain. Brent Cobain is out for the rest of the season. Good scrummage by Leinster. Can they come back from that hammering against Munster when they were truly suffocated by that big red pack? Hardly got any ball at all, but already in a good attacking position, and it's Bernard Jackman standing off and staying on his feet well. Ball squirts back for Easterby. Shane Horgan in midfield, partnering Gordon Darcy there. Originally named on the wing, but at the last minute they've moved Kieran Lewis out onto the right hand side. Easterby goes blind to Gordon Darcy. Those dancing feet that were so effective against Llanelli a couple of weeks ago. Hardly saw the ball, of course, against Munster. Contepomi. Oh, he's hit hard. Good tackle by Andy Lloyd. Well, he'll have after effects from that Munster game. Contepomi, that's for sure. That's Keith Gleeson. And in the touch from Gleeson, who's had a very good season. Uncharacteristically missed a few tackles last week against Munster, as did quite a few of the men in blue. What a hit that was. Peter McKenna alongside me, the former Leinster and Ireland international.
I think the Ospreys have learned an awful lot from last week's game, Leinster versus Munster. The defence has been just very aggressive so far. They've slowed down Leinster ball. Leinster's ball presentation has been quite poor so far. I know we're only in there to the second minute, but I think if Leinster are to learn lessons from last Sunday, I think they need good quick ball, good go forward ball, and what they're doing is actually playing behind the game line to start off with. So Ospreys learned a lot of lessons from last Sunday, and I think Leinster need to find a rhythm quite quickly.
Well, I'm not sure if they have porridge in Argentina, but that's what Felipe Contepomi's brain turned to that match against Munster last week. He looked almost frightened by the occasion, which is amazing for a man with 47 international caps and bags of experience. So I'll be fascinated to see how Contepomi responds tonight after that. Gavin Henson with the kick, and if you see his boots, he's wearing a wonderful pair of white boots that just need a stiletto heel.
Your job to get straight. White, off the mark. Let's go, Black. Let's go.
To the tail, and it's well taken there by James Bater. And in midfield, it's Alan Wynne-Jones, the big second row forward, up to the halfway line. Jason Spice, 30 years of age now, the man from New Zealand. And it looked like Terblanche was offside there as the ball went through, but he knees the ball forward. Intelligent play by the 37 times capped Springbok. Back in his fullback slot, he won all his caps for the Boks on the wing, but he's switched often between wing and fullback for the Ospreys.
It's a very intelligent play there by Jason Spice, and I think Leinster can expect that now for the rest of the evening. That's very typical of him. He'll kick the ball into space, and he's got wingers and fullback with great pace who'll just follow it up and put Leinster under huge pressure.
Spice will probably struggle to get too many games next season because the Ospreys have signed a certain Justin Marshall from Leeds, 82 times capped by New Zealand. Good take there in the second row by Adam Burns for Leinster. He drive forward. Keith Gleeson with his hands on the ball on the ground. Easterby, and that's on the line. Well, Chang Lang brings them back and says the ball went out in the full. That was a tight one, but a good lead. This is the man who's replacing Bryce Williams, and of course Leinster have signed Trevor Hogan for next season, so there'll be plenty of competition for these second row berths.
Set the gap. One scrum half. Hold.
Again, it's good ball at the tail, and it's James Bater who takes it on. It was Jonathan Thomas who took the ball in the line out. Here's Matthew Jones. Number 14 is Damien Caruana, played full-back last week against Llanelli, and Gavin Henson with a forward pass. Very clear. And there's Henson, 20 points last week in that victory against Llanelli, with the fake tan as usual, and probably some eau de cologne as well. He says he applies the fake tan himself. I wonder how he does his back, or does Charlotte Church do that bit? Heaslip, and a thumping kick from Dennis Hickey. What a kick by Hickey. He's got a great left boot.
Yeah, it was a great relieving kick there by Dennis. And in fairness to Leinster, the last couple of minutes now, they're starting to get it together. It was a good line, a good go forward ball, and Dennis just got a punishing left foot. And I think if Terblanche lets the ball bounce like that for the rest of the game, especially with a firm ground like this, I think the Ospreys could be punished.
51 times cap for his country, Dennis Hickey. Maybe now out of Eddie O'Sullivan's plans as he enters his 30s. That's good ball. Easterby to Contepomi. Bit of magic from Contepomi. That was more like it. Didn't see any of that against Munster on Sunday. But again, he was put under intense pressure there, Contepomi. Just watch the hit he takes here as he delivers the ball. It was Andy Lloyd. He stayed in his feet well, Contepomi.
He did very well, great answer. But it's a very aggressive, very quick Osprey defence coming up hard and fast and just trying to stop Leinster behind the game line.
Spice to Henson, beginning to find his form, having been out after a groin operation. Of course, that suspension for the elbow in the Heineken Cup match against Leicester. Gervin Dempsey chases that kick, and it's well taken. And now it's Terblanche under a lot of pressure, and Leinster playing with vigour in this opening 6 minutes, which is great to see. That was Jamie Heaslip, the 22-year-old. Superb prospect for Leinster and for Ireland in the future, inevitably.
Yeah, it's great pressure there by Jamie Heaslip. Great team play, you know. Gert puts the ball up and his teammates come up and follow up with in the chase, and Leinster get a good line at 22.
Contapome again. Shane Horgan, there's Dennis Hickey.
Release. Hands off.
A little bit complicated. Number 14 is penalised, and that is Damien Carauna. Off his feet, so Chang then gives the penalty just out the 22.
Okay. Put the deck. Just early, not steady, not square, and then early shove.
I think if Leinster are to learn any lessons from last week, is sometimes just doing the simple things very well can be far more effective than doing very complicated things behind the gain line. I think Leinster are very lucky to come away with a penalty here, and just simplify things a bit. Even that last phase of play when Gervin Dempsey put a high up and under and Jamie Heaslip chased it, it was simple, it was effective, and it got deep into the Ospreys 22, and maybe that's a lesson that Leinster could learn.
Okay. Top scorer in the Celtic League, Contapome, with 231 points, well clear of David Humphreys in second place. And this is his 100th kick in the Celtic League this season, and he's been successful on 74 occasions. And that makes it a perfect, exact and rounded 75% return for Contapome.
Leinster's management will be happy with the way Contapome struck that ball. It's a beautiful strike compared to last Sunday as well, when his kicking boots might necessarily have been brought with him.
Yes, he was very snatchy last week, and his restarts were far too deep as well. Will Green, well taken. He was out-scrummaged last week by Federico Pucciarello, well taken on by Miller. Easterby, oh, it's a poor pass, well taken, good hands there by Shane Horgan, but they've turned the ball over. Jason spies space on the white outside here, but it's good defending, and it was Gervin Dempsey who made the tackle on Caruana. Gordon Darcy goes in, but the Ospreys advancing, and it's Matthew Jones once again. Wyn Jones this time, the second row forward. 3 Jones in the pack. Coming in from the side though, Leinster, and a chance for the Ospreys to equalise if they want to go for the posts. They've got 2 men who could kick, of course. Gavin Henson, who's going to take this one, and Matthew Jones, the out half. Here's the infringement, and there's the drive in from the side, very obviously from Ronan McCormick, the former Ulster and Connacht prop, the only player in the professional era to play for 3 of the provinces. Anyway, Henson, he's had a tough season both on and off the pitch. His autobiography, My Grand Slam, didn't go down too well with some players, some of the content. A little sort of hitch kick before he strikes it, and well, he's made an awful mess of that one, Peter.
That was a poor kick, and I think Henson had found his kicking boots recently against Connethy. What scored 20 points was a 5 penalties conversion and a drop goal, and that was straight in front of the post, and quite an unusual kicking style, one might say, but it was wide, and you'd expect more of Gavin Henson.
And here he is again. His first time back at Lansdowne Road since he came on as a replacement against Ireland for Wales, and had an absolute nightmare, you might remember, when he was moved into the out half slot. But he was very rusty. I wouldn't entirely blame Henson for that performance. Keith Gleeson picks the ball up, no advantage for the knock on, so it's back for a scrummage for the Ospreys just outside the 22.
Wait, please. Wait.
Pressure. Great jump by Gerv there, but he just took his eye off the ball just at the last second. Just a few little mistakes there, you know, just creeping into the game, and it's letting the Ospreys stay in the game.
Dempsey very rarely drops those, you have to say, and that's very good hands. Caruana taking the ball from Sonny Parker, the 16 stone Welsh international, New Zealand born. Away
Hands
come
in there.
Leinster, but hands in. Another penalty.
Taking too long.
And a chance for Gavin Henson perhaps to redeem himself.
It was very good hands here. Leinster, in fairness, some good scramble defence, but it's another cheap, stupid penalty, and it's keeping the Ospreys in the game. And the first 20 minutes are crucial here. Leinster need to find a rhythm, they need to exercise the demons from last week, and they're not allowing themselves to get into the game because they're just making stupid mistakes, either knock-ons or just penalties as well.
There's Lynn Jones, the director of coaching for the Ospreys, assisted by Derwin Jones, the former Cardiff and Wales second row forward, and Jonathan Humphreys, the former Wales hooker. Well, Gavin, resurrection time for him perhaps, and that's more like it. 3 points apiece here at Lansdowne Road with 12 minutes play, and a 24-year-old Lion gets his name on the scoreboard. Well, there's the Leinster Ladyboys side, and I think that's very unfair. I really do, because it almost takes away from the Munster performance last week, Peter. I mean, really, they deserve huge credit for the way they did, as I said, strangle and suffocate this Leinster side.
Absolutely. I think that Leinster, first of all, defended extremely well last week. They gave it everything. But exactly, I think to say that is to take away from the Munster performance. I think Munster would have beaten any team in Europe last week. They played a very simple game, they played it very, very effectively, and I dare say they might have beaten one of the top teams in the Southern Hemisphere as well. And yes, this does get my goat up when I see something like that, obviously.
Well, they talk about what happened last Sunday. Michael Cheika's first season in charge, he takes the team to a Heineken Cup semi-final. They're top of the Celtic League, which they might well win. And that wouldn't be a bad season, surely, for your first year in charge. And he has brought an openness and a development and an attacking style to this Leinster side, which is very exciting to watch. The huge bulk of their tries this season have been scored by the backs, whereas on the Munster side, the vast majority of the tries have been scored, no surprise, by the forwards, almost 60%, would you believe. Here's Henson. Now, that's an easier ball for Dempsey to take because the pressure's not quite there. Henson was up as quickly as he could. Well taken by Dempsey. They're going to try and move it here. Knocked forward by Shane Horgan, though. And it was a poor pass by Dempsey. Can't blame Horgan too much for that.
Yeah, and an unforced error, just keeping the Ospreys now deep into Leinster 22. But just getting back to what your point there was previously, Mark, I agree with you. You have to see where Cheika was coming from, what he inherited. They lost Shane Byrne, Leo Cullen, Shane Jennings, Declan Killing up back down to Munster, and they were reeling, and he's really pulled them together, and he's done fantastically well. And I think some of the Leinster space have been excellent this season.
Here's Henson, makes the ball available with his hands. That was superb stuff by Henson, but there was nobody quite in support for the offload. Andy Lloyd goes in, and there's numbers out here. They can move the ball. Should have tried to spin it wide there perhaps, because Turblanche was, well, he would have had a chance on this left-hand side. Matthew Jones goes inside. It's a good ball to Alan Wynne-Jones. Matthew Jones on the left-hand side. There's three players there, including Jonathan Thomas. But the whistle has gone for a knock forward while in a crucial position for the Ospreys. There were players lining up all over the place for the Ospreys there. Leinster were sucked in to a certain extent.
There's a mark. Nice and straight scrum half.
It's good pressure to break them though by Leinster. They were contesting for the ball there and putting the person in scrum half position under an awful lot of pressure.
Easterly feeds and the Ospreys try to wheel on the Pomey, and fails to find touch. Turblanche
Leave it 12.
takes on big Malcolm O'Kelly, gets outside him.
Use it.
May never be allowed to forget the handoff last week by Ronald O'Gara, which led to the try. There'll be plenty of banter in the Irish camp about that one, no doubt.
Oh, this knee is over the ball, slowing it down. Number 8.
Penalty.
Get that knee away. If you slow it down
Slowing
again,
the ball
we'll
down.
in the bin.
Jimmy
He knows exactly
Heslip.
what he's doing.
And
Roll
he
away.
will go to the bin if he does it again. You heard the referee there, I'm sure, as Gavin Henson attempts to put the Ospreys into the lead here. Ulster currently topping the league now with 60 points because they have a free weekend, so that's been added to their total, which puts them 1 point clear now of Leinster.
Can you get it just a bit
Munster,
higher?
of course, won last night. If you watched that game on Setanta, beating the Borders by 41 points to 25, and then it's Cardiff in the mix as well. Well, a bit scruffy for Menson, but 3 points are added and they move into the lead by 6 points to 3. Cardiff beating Connacht earlier this afternoon, and their final 3 games are against the Irish provinces, so they have a few things to say about where this Celtic League title may well go.
I think you'd have to agree though that the Ospreys here are worthy of their 6-3 lead here, that they're playing the better rugby. It's not very attractive rugby either, but they're playing the better rugby. Just Leinster making some really, as I said before, some quite stupid unforced errors and keeping the Ospreys in this game, and the Ospreys are capitalising on any mistakes that Leinster are making.
Good pick up there by Matthew Jones, the young out half. Won Welsh cap as replacement against Canada last year.
Get them out.
Just 22 years of age. Bernard Jackman, the former Connacht hooker, played over 70 times for them, but signed now for this Leinster side. He goes towards Malcolm O'Kelly, and that's well taken by the 80 times capped Irish second row forward, Conte Tommy. And here's a clean break through for Easterby. It must be on for Easterby, and Easterby coasts his way through under the post. A typical Leinster try, if you like. They've been scoring them all season long. It really is a pulsating, line-breaking backline. They don't need much invitation.
That was straight from the training park. It was just great throwing, but first of all, Bernard Jackman, great to have him back. But here was just very good. Guy Easterby, he's very, very quick. A lot of people don't appreciate how quick he is. And then he had Gordon Darcy outside, ball in 2 hands. Treblanche didn't know which way he was going to go, and Sidney Parker wasn't quick enough to catch him. Great try by Leinster.
It was interesting there how tightly bunched the Ospreys defenders were there in midfield, and that helped to create the gap for Easterby, and Conte adds the points. So Guy Easterby scores only his 3rd try for Leinster. Hard to believe for a guy with such pace, now 35 years of age, but he can still move.
You have to appreciate though as well that there were a lot of decoy runners there in midfield, Shane Horgan being one of them, and it put the Ospreys backline off. They held the drift, and then it gave it freed up perimeter for Guy Easterby to exploit.
Henson with the restart, taken comfortably by Horgan. Too deep from Henson. Easterby back to Dennis Hickey, and he so often takes up that out half position when a left-footed kick is required, which is obviously intelligent with the strength that he has in that peg.
It's horrible to play against if you're one of the back 3 for the Ospreys. You just don't know which way the ball is going to go. Is it Contepomi going to kick it or Dennis Hickey going to kick it? And both of them are very good kicks. But here you see Shane Horgan was under no pressure. He basically had time to place the ball properly, good clean out, and it was quite easy for Dennis to clear with very little pressure on him.
Good ball by Alan Wynne-Jones. Jason Spice to Matthew Jones. That looked maybe slightly forward. The referee was right in line. Good decision by David Chengleng as the players play their own little game after the whistle. Caruana in possession, but back to the scrummage just inside the Ospreys half.
Balls away. Don't bind on the arm. Bind high. Wait.
Good intent by Jones to use the width here, but just slightly forward to Caruana, who'd come in off the right wing.
Yeah, there is space out wide for Ospreys.
Start again. Hold. Crouch and hold. Engage. Hold.
Easterby. It's Darcy this time to Dempsey. Good tackle there by Richard Mustoe.
It's off the hand first, knock on.
Not forward. And scrummage to the Ospreys.
Still too quick. Don't pre-guess.
It's the result of some good work there by Sonny Parker. He was aggressive in the tackle and just ripped the ball and forced Gervin to knock it on. Very uncharacteristic of Gervin.
Andy Lloyd leaves the ball this time for Jonathan Thomas to play the number 8 role, the Welsh international. Now Jason Spice was the ball out, was out. Heaslip gets away with that. And then one of the Ospreys players, Chang Leng, saying not rolling away, so a penalty to Leinster at the end of all that.
5-0.
So he's reading that situation well there. Timing has run well.
Okay, I'll watch it, yeah.
Leinster's run in. Glasgow, Cardiff and the Gunners still to play after this match. This their last home game. All those remaining fixtures are away from Dublin, so it's not going to be easy. So Bernard Jackman, Malcolm O'Kelly leaps and takes it well. Gets support from Ronan McCormick just inside the 22. Good drive from Leinster, hands off from the Hair-Bear bunch, and Easterby looks for another break on support, this time from Adam Burns. Good run by the Antipodean. That looked like a knock forward there though, but they're going to get a penalty here, Leinster. Over the top, the Ospreys.
The only reason you got to that ball is because you went to deck. Stay up.
Big Adam
Leaving
Burns
the feet to win the ball.
there.
You can't lean in opposition to come over.
Born in Sydney, Australian barbarian. A little push in the face from Eric Miller, 30 years of age now. Plans to be a personal trainer when he retires. 48 caps for Ireland on the Lions test in '97.
It's very interesting. Leinster going for the line out there, obviously going for the bonus points. You'd think at 10-6, 23 minutes gone, get 3 points, create a bit of a lead and create a bit of panic maybe in the Ospreys, but he went for the line out instead.
That's O'Kelly again who takes it. Now Jackman. Crabbing, driving. Good strength from Jackman. And now here's Conde Fome, and it's Darcy who knocks it forward. And it's Jonathan Thomas, and he knew he didn't have the pace, so he kicked it. There's nobody back here for Leinster. And eventually Dempsey gets there, needs the bounce. Has to go down on it. Thomas following up his own kick well.
It's a rock.
And it's going to be a penalty. Hands in the ruck from the Ospreys. Well, cardinal sin from the Welsh there. In a pretty good position.
I think that ball there was just knocked down, obviously in the tackle. The Ospreys in fairness to them, they're tackling the ball and not just necessarily the man. But you do get a sense there's a bit of niggle going on here. The Ospreys off the ball, they're just getting into Leinster's face. They're trying to unruffle them, or sorry, ruffle them I should say, and just put Leinster off the rhythm, and you have to think it's working somewhat at the moment.
When they met earlier in the season, the Ospreys won at the Liberty Stadium with a 22-20 victory. A long-range Matthew Jones penalty in the final minute. Emmett Byrne beside Michael Cheika on the bench there. Rolly Meeks, the scrummaging coach with the spectacles and grey hair behind them. A well-respected figure.
Absolutely, there's nobody knows more about scrummaging than Rowley, which means I had very little to do with Rowley when he was my coach. But he is. But just even the background staff there, Jerry Murphy and then Mike Brewer, you know, they all bring a wealth of experience with them and imparting to players very effectively this season.
Mike Brewer looking after the forwards, 32 times capped by the All Blacks, very experienced, hard man is Brewer. Now Easterby picks for position as we look at that Easterby try again. So 15 minutes to go to half time. Leinster leading by 10 points to 6 and by 1 try to 0. Jackman to a shortened line out and lots of chopping and changing there. Let's listen to Chang Leng.
Both of you, do not close the gap. We're having it again, please. Keep the gap. Watch yourself. Line it again. Yeah. But I'll watch it. Let's go, White. The middle is here.
The referee penalising both sides at once there. Jackman looking for Miller, and they've lost this line out. Spice gets the ball out. And there goes Jones, the captain, Duncan Jones.
Stay, hold. Use it back.
Spice waits to Matthew Jones. Hickey does well to keep the ball in play. Gervin Dempsey inside the 22. He's outside it now.
Outside.
Long spiralling kick into the arms of Jason Spice, and now it's Stefan Terblanche. He takes his time, and he was just, I think, on the whitewash with that kick.
I know it wasn't very attractive, but there's actually some very nice kicks there. They're all like 50-60 yard kicks. But Leinster there, they undercooked the line out. Bernard Jackman, unfortunately, is one area that as a hooker is their bread and butter, and their darts have to be straight, they have to be online, they have to be going to your second row's hands, and he just undercooked it. Well, undercooked there with Miller there, and Leinster are back in their own half again.
Good to see a decent crowd turning out here at Lansdowne Road this evening, especially after the disappointment. And there's a man doing a very good impression of Alan Jones.
It's a much better lineup by Leinster.
It's a good drive too, good surge this. There's Keith Gleeson, the Irish international, Australian-born Easterby. Condapomi again inside the Hickey, didn't have to look, he knew where Hickey was. That's how good a player Condapomi is when he's on form, when he's focused, when he's relaxed. And he's much more in his game tonight. Great kick.
Just going back to that backline move there, great run here by Dennis. You know, Felipe held the ball up very well. But I'm sure the backs would have been happier if that ball was just off the top. You know, it just released the Ospreys backline when they went down, they drove it. Just released the Ospreys, and the midfield was quite congested.
I suppose Condapomi is the Ronaldinho of rugby. He looks one way and throws the ball the other.
Okay, that's fine.
That's a pretty useful option to James Bader over the tail.
Hold back, Pete. Hold back, hold back.
It's always a little bit dangerous, that ball, but when it works, it's effective. Taken by Kieran Lewis. His first chance to run.
Release.
Eric Miller maybe took a player out there. Musto might have cause for complaint.
It's just a mess. Going forward. Going forward.
But Leinster driving forward. They get the scrummage here. As we approach the half-hour mark at Lansdowne Road. Here's Kieran Lewis's run. And just look at Eric Miller there. Just shoved Musto out of the way rather professionally, shall we say. Something Biarritz, I have to say, are very good at, and Munster have to look out for that in the Heineken Cup final, especially Serge Betson and Hara Nordique. Betson's a master of the late trip when the referee's not watching. Supporting runners are inclined to end up on their face when Betson's around. But I'm sure Declan Kidney has spotted that and will speak to the referee before the game. Condapomi saw the gap and went for it. Look at the step from Condapomi, the Argentinian at his brilliant best, and releasing the ball superbly. The Ospreys reorganising their own defence, and Darcy knocks the ball on for the second time in 5 minutes. Jason Spice, and again he saw the gap behind that Leinster defence, and the advantage has gone. But what a break, what a run from Condapomi.
Beautiful angle here chosen, and he just went for it, and he's got such good dancing feet, he doesn't break his stride, and just Leinster will be disappointed because they're just not building the phases. They're getting, let's say, 1 or 2 phases and then they're knocking it on, and just not getting a rhythm into the game. But great break by Felipe here, you know, it just went for it, and it was great support. Just go clean out as well.
Let's go.
Jackman, that didn't look straight to Adam Burns.
Through too quick.
Through too quickly, so Leinster perhaps fortunate there. Bernard Jackman taking it quickly. Gets support from Heaslip. Great hands from Heaslip there. That's why he was one of the players nominated for a Young Player of the Year award a couple of seasons back. And the kick for Hickey to chase.
Oh, beautiful kick, beautifully judged as well. But you're right, great interplay there between Bernard Jackman and Jamie Heaslip. And it comes back to Felipe, spots the space and sees Dennis. There's nobody quicker to run onto it. And it's a bit of stupid really by Terblanche.
Well, I think if I'd played like Condapomi last week, I would have needed psychiatric help, but he has recovered tremendously well tonight, and he's back on song, playing the way he's played all season long. Yeah, Bernard Jackman is the injured player. Sorry.
So I was just going to say, you're right, Mark. It's a testament to the guy. You know, he would have come under a huge amount of flack, not just from the press, but just from himself. You know, he would have been very disappointed in the way he played, because, as you've alluded to a number of times now, he's just been playing extremely well this season, and it's just great to see him back here tonight. And he's getting a bit more space, which he didn't get last week, obviously. And the Ospreys aren't putting him under the same amount of pressure that Munster did, and you can see what he can do.
Well, he was completely shackled and mangled by the Munster back row last week. As you say, he didn't have an inch to move in. Here's where Bernard Jackman received the injury, but he seems to be all right. Contepomi is named as, well, he's one of the nominations for Player of the Year. Got dinner on the 3rd of May, and Contepomi again. He's full of confidence now, isn't he? Look at that. Little step off a right foot, creating the space. And then the support comes in. Good field position here for Leinster. Malcolm O'Kelly drives into Caruana. Easterby, the ball was out though. And now here's Burns. And he makes the ball available this time. Horgan goes on the big blind side. He's got Hickey alongside him. They wanted the ball moved left quickly there. Easterby may yet do it, and decides for the dart himself. It almost came off for Easterby. Still there for Munster. O'Kelly to Darcy. Gordon Darcy outside to Dempsey, and Dempsey for the line. Well, he's inches short. And now they drive for the whitewash, and it's held up this time. Well, so close Leinster there to a second try.
Great play, and I think it's a little bit ominous for the Ospreys now, because they're just starting to get back into it now. Great play by Gordon there. And Gervin just very unlucky. It must have been just centimetres there short.
He did have Lewis outside him completely unmarked. Might have used him. Probably think he should have now. He didn't score. Just out of the picture, there he is. Kieran Lewis. Nobody marking him.
Beautiful hands there by Gordon. He's such a talented player. You know, he struggled to get back into his form this season, you know, especially after the Lions tour, but you know, I think he's suffering from an awful lot of teams just marking him out of games. You know, he's such a dangerous player, and give him a bit of space and all, and look what he can do.
Darcy, of course, had a hamstring injury when he came back from the Lions tour. It took him quite a long time to recover from that, but he's certainly back to full sharpness now. Played a full role in the Triple Crown success for Ireland. Now Easterby is picked up by Heaslett. Tackled by Jonathan Thomas, but the Ospreys back row was a little bit slow there. Here's Contepomi to Horgan. Good tackle by Henson. Great position here. Here's Jackman. A little bit isolated, Bernard Jackman. In goes Burns to help and clear out. Once again the blind side for Gervin Dempsey. Good tackle by Sonny Parker. Now it's out to Gordon Darcy. No obvious open channels at the moment for Leinster. Can they create one? They're certainly recycling the ball pretty well here.
I think they're recycling very well, but there's not much go forward. Really, this guy used to be making like 3 or 4 yards, which they have been failing to do. And Contepomi in possession this time, tackled by Sonny Parker. Eric Miller does a bit of Sir Edmund Hillary there.
Going forward. There's a mark.
Miller ascending the north face of the Ospreys pack, but Leinster getting the foot into the scrummage, and a good period of possession this for this Leinster team. Andy Lloyd is down injured. Ryan Jones, of course, would be the man who'd normally be in that number 8 shirt for the Ospreys, but he's injured. He's out for the rest of the season. The man who joined the Lions tour late and played in all 3 test matches. But Andy Lloyd is a Welsh international in his own right.
6 minutes and a half.
I think just whilst there's a break and play here, Mark, if you just talk about how difficult it must be for the guys to come out here tonight. You know, I suppose it's just so tough to recover from what happened to them last weekend, like just mentally, and to come back to the scene of the accident and such. I remember after the semi-final in 2003, we were given a week off, and a few of us went down to Connemara, played a bit of golf, and exercised our demons on the golf course and the pub afterwards. But these guys just didn't get a break; they're straight back into it, and you know, you have to hand it to them that they're starting to get back into it, and well done.
Heaslett picks up. Again looks for the gap. Jonathan Thomas with the tackle this time. Now it's Malcolm O'Kelly. Gordon Darcy, plenty of defenders there. He's going to have to use those twinkle toes here. Straighten his feet well. Gives the forwards a platform to drive onto. Now here's Jackman. He takes the ball into contact. It's Jones with a tackle. Easterby, great pass. Here's Shane Horgan. Horgan chips through for Hickey. And across comes Stefan Terblanche to do the sweeping.
a nice ball there by Shane. It was great, actually, just for Tufans to bring it in to give Leinster to line out now, but said they just need a few big ball carriers, getting them a little bit of ground, a little bit of momentum going forward, and they know they have the players out wide that can really exploit the gap, so will appear.
So not quite taking the ball at the pace when it gets out wide. It's taken by O'Kelly. Sort of a little bit static by Leinster at the moment.
Free kick, closing the gap.
And a free kick this time to Leinster. Now, we've got 6 minutes to go to half time. A try would be very pleasant indeed. Gleeson's in there. Easterby just takes a check on his options. He's got Jackman standing just behind him.
Hands off, Black. Off his feet.
Easterby. Again, he looks to shovel his way through, but can't quite make it. Maybe the wrong option. Here's Keith Gleeson. Might still work out for Leinster though. Release, says Chang Leng. 1 metre short. Jackman is putting a boot in to get that ball out of there.
Going forward.
Again, Leinster going forward, getting the attacking scrummage. So can they work a back row move here? They had a beautiful one against Llanelli a couple of weeks ago when Heaslip picked up and simply popped the ball to Easterby, who glided through the defence under the post. And there's a blood injury to Adam Burns. Ben Gissing is on the bench. He would be the obvious replacement.
If it's a long arm bind.
Might actually be a timely replacement here as well, because with a scrum that close to the line, Ben Gissing just adds so much weight, if you'll forgive me for that, but he does, you know, a lot of stability and solidity, I should say, to the scrum. But you have to hand it to the Ospreys there as well. They slowed down the Leinster ball there at the breakdown. They really did, and they're going to frustrate the hell out of Leinster all day, and that's why the scoreline's only 10-6.
Well, yes, Ben Gissing is stripped off now. He's got over 19 stones of bulk and 6'7" in height to add to this scrummage if required. Adam Burns getting some treatment on the pitch, so he may be able to continue if the referee deems that the cut was healed sufficiently for him to play on. Remember that Leinster have signed Trevor Hogan, as I mentioned, as well as Stephen Keogh from Munster, and Chris Whittaker, the scrum half, the 31-year-old Australian international who's been for so long the understudy to the great George Gregan. But Whittaker, a fine player in his own right. So Burns is able to continue. This is a very important scrummage for Leinster. They've been inside the Ospreys 22 now for the last 10-15 minutes or so without any return. Easterby, Condepomi, good handoff. Oh, that's typical. That is so typical for Condepomi. It almost sums up his season, his 8th try in the Celtic League. When he's on form, he really is virtually unstoppable.
Beautiful individual try here by Felipe. Ball just came out straight to him, held his man up a dummy by showing the ball to distract his defender, and he just went for it. As you can see here, he looks like he's going the inside, just handed off Matthew Jones, and I think that's one of the weaknesses of Matthew Jones' play, is that his defence isn't great, and just Felipe, great strength and great pace.
3.5 to play, 3.5.
Great try.
He's mercurial. There's a touch of the Tony Wards about him, I think. And adds the conversion to take him past 500 points for Leinster, which is quite a landmark. Just watch this little step, and Jones, well, it was a poor attempt at a tackle to be fair, but wonderful play from the Puma.
The secret there was that Condepomi made Jones plant his feet, and then he just took off, and his burst of pace just took him past Jones. But that score is just crucial now. Like, it sends the opposition into the dressing room somewhat deflated with their heads down into half time, and then the coach will have to waste a couple of minutes on the valuable team talk time and pepping his team up.
Yes, there was no doubt about the panache there from Felipe.
Just wait 2 seconds, please.
Condepomi.
Wait for these characters.
Taken by Malcolm O'Kelly.
Okay. No. Clear rugby.
Eric Miller drives forward. And Easterby. Jones was in the way. That's Conor Pomey. Straight down the throat of Stefan Terblons, the former Natal Sharks winger. He's played for the South African Barbarians as well. And it's Dennis Hickey, full-back slot, and that great left foot again. Jason Spice attempted to take it quickly, but Malcolm O'Kelly was up sharply there.
Thank you guys, give me this one.
Jason Spice taking the ball and getting very close to the technical equipment.
I think Leinster will be very happy now with the last 10-15 minutes. They've found some of the rhythm, they've had a little bit of space to play with the ball and getting their confidence back. And I think it's a little bit ominous for the Ospreys going into the second half that Leinster have actually managed to do that.
Taken by James Bater at the tail, the 26-year-old from Bridgend.
Don't set colours, leave it. No, stay there please.
Jones. The loose-head version, Duncan the captain. His 50th match tonight for the Ospreys, so a milestone for him. And Dempsey taking the ball well. A little suspicion of obstruction there by Leinster, but they get away with it. Adam Byrne sets the ball, and here's Easterby again. Really is sniping tonight, looking at every opportunity for the break. And they're going to get a penalty, not rolling away.
Slowing the ball down.
Beautiful take here by Kerr. Just gets up, doesn't take his eye off the ball. Surrounded by Ospreys players, goes to ground, and there's Gordon Darcy to protect the ball also.
Anstey and Horgan. They knew exactly what they were doing. I suspect.
Let's sort it out for the second half.
Just in the right place at the right time.
Yeah, there's a lot of blocking going on in the game these days, and I suppose the All Blacks are the masters at it.
Absolutely, I think a referee needs to have eyes in the back of his head, the side of his head, the top of his head. There's an awful lot going on at the same time. A lot of it being.
Becomes 20 points to 6 into the final minute of this first half, and there it is. The whistle goes. Peter, your thoughts on that first half? How happy will Leinster and Cheika be?
I think they'll be extremely happy, to be honest. I think they'll be delighted with the last 20 minutes anyway of the half. They started off the first 20 minutes making a lot of mistakes, unforced errors, and what they've done is they've consolidated their play. They've actually built a few phases, and they've managed to punish the Ospreys and show what they're capable of.
Well, there's confirmation of the half-time score. Leinster 20, the Ospreys 6.
Leinster lead the Ospreys by 20 points to 6. Jim Glennon, what do you expect in the second half?
I'd expect, not very simply, a continuation of what Leinster have done in the first half. I think the game is over as a contest, and it's a question of the margin now, but I think far more important for any Leinster supporter is the method, and hopefully they'll deliver 40 minutes of the same, structured, simple, no messing, nothing, as Neil was saying, no beach volleyball, just get the job done, and there could be 50 points here.
Neil Francis, what about a degree of ruthlessness? Is that what Leinster have to show even in games like this?
Oh, their sole focus now at the moment is just to get another 2 tries, bonus point, and make sure they get 5 points from this game, and then they can throttle back, or they can even clear the bench.
Because it's important to win tonight, isn't it, from the point of view that the last 3 games for Leinster in the Celtic League are away from home?
Well, I think, I mean, if it does turn out to be a 50-pointer, I think that even makes last Sunday's, result even worse. If Leinster go off and beat somebody by 50 or 60 points, sort of in a Celtic
Can you
League.
take no good out of a victory for Leinster tonight?
No, I can't. I mean, sort of, they can, if they apply themselves, they can win this league. But as I said, glittering prize there. They very, very seldom you get a chance to play in a European Cup final.
So Jim Glennon, it's all about application, so is it?
Application, very definitely, and I think the result will follow.
Okay, we'll head back to Lansdowne Road and to our commentary team of Peter McKenna and Mark Robson.
Thanks very much, guys. Well, last Sunday here when Leinster played Munster, it was a bit like a dump truck hitting a Vespa, and Leinster were very much on the receiving end. Different story here tonight against the Ospreys. Leinster have played pretty well in that first half, Super tries from Easterby and Condapome. And I think Condapome deserves all the credit in the world for the way he's played tonight after last week. I don't care what anybody says. It's a superb recovery by the Puma. O'Kelly didn't knock it on. Easterby inside his 22. And a good clearing kick by Easterby. And I think the Ospreys might put up a little bit more of a fight in this second half than they may suspect in the studio. We shall see. Certainly next season, the defending Celtic League champions, remember, the Ospreys, are going to be a mighty force. They've made some good signings and they've got a lot of good players to come back. 4 Lions are injured. They've signed Lee Byrne, the Welsh fullback, and Tal Selly. And of course Justin Marshall. Here's Matthew Jones to Gavin Henson, and Henson with a pretty terrible ball to Terblon, so he's given it straight to Gordon Darcy. Henson tries to recover, and Shane Horgan tries to rip the Permatam head off Gavin Henson there. Condapome.
Play on. Hands off.
That's Heasley. And it's going to be a penalty here. Obstruction. Well, Leinster got away with that a few times in the game so far, but not on that occasion.
Yeah, I got it.
Leinster, remember, won the first Celtic League when it was on a pools and knockout basis. They beat Munster 24-20 in a very memorable final. Munster won in 2003 when they beat Neath in the final. And since then, well, Scarlets, they squeezed out Ulster in a head-to-head in 2004 in the final match. And then the Ospreys, these guys won it last season. At the moment, it looks like the 5th running of the Celtic League will go to an Irish side. But will it be Ulster? Will it be Leinster? Will it be Munster? And Cardiff still have something to say in that respect. Henson, better strike this time, and straight between the centre of the posts. 20 points to 9 is the score now, and that's just the start they needed in this second half.
Exactly, Marcus, just the start that the Ospreys needed and just the start that Leinster did not need. If they can keep, or could have kept, the Ospreys to 20-6, they would then have a bit of frustration, and the Ospreys would have started playing some more open rugby, and that's what Leinster could have exploited.
Didn't see too many restarts as good as that from Condapome last week. It was taken by Miller this time. Just got about the right yardage on it. Condapome, all the skills now. Well, he's kicking the ball the way O'Gara did last week.
It's just quite simple rugby there, really, wasn't it? It was a great take by Eric. And it's Felipe just putting the Ospreys back in their own 22, and there's not much that they can do back there, and hopefully Leinster might get a penalty or even better, a try.
Hugh Bennett, the Welsh international hooker, to put the ball into this line out. Jones in the second row, and it's taken by Ian Evans, just 21 years of age, 6 feet 7 inches tall, and a Welsh under-21 international, one of the big prospects in this Ospreys squad. Big squad they have down there at the Liberty Stadium. Jimmy Heaslip, well, he half missed the tackle, allowed the Ospreys to advance and cross the gain line. Tackle comes in from Adam Burns.
Use it.
Spice waits back to Matthew Jones, and he sliced that one horribly. Shane Horgan takes it well. Gervin Dempsey looks outside him to Dennis Hickey. He's got Darcy on the switch. Tackle from Sonny Parker. Easterby. Flatness Condapome, and again hardly looking, just flicked the ball on straight to a member of the Leinster side, Eric Miller this time. Easterby tries the same sort of thing, but maybe hasn't quite got the high skill standards of the wonderful man from Buenos Aires.
I think the guy's annoyed there because obviously somebody was calling for the ball inside him. It might have just been a premeditated move that they had, where they've obviously Guy called it himself and was expecting someone to be there, but yeah, annoying for Guy, really.
Good scrummage by the Ospreys. It's Jonathan Thomas again in the number 8 position. Gavin Henson. Dempsey is there. comes Matthew Jones. Dempsey didn't get all of that, and it's Gavin Henson into Stefan Terblanche. Again, he slices the ball. That's a pretty dreadful kick by the South African. 16th time he's played at fullback this season.
Thank you, boys.
That was a dreadful kick by Terblanche. I don't know what he was thinking. He was off the side of the boot, and he's had a bad start to the second half. The first time the pass by Gavin Henson was a bit of a lacklustre effort to run onto it, and that kick.
Leinster scrummage under pressure, and that meant Easterby had to work hard to retain the ball, and Jason Spice was all over him. And it shows you how important scrummaging is. They say it's a lost art, but it's far from being that. And here you can see exactly what happened. The front row just crumpled there as the Ospreys put on the surge. The two Jones boys at loose and tight head doing a bit of damage. Well, look how solid that scrummage is. Jonathan Thomas to Bater, and now Matthew Jones. Caruana. And now it's Sonny Parker. Sonny Parker looking for support outside. Well, it just needed one good pass, and the Ospreys might well have been in the corner there. Shane Horgan was beaten. The handoff as well of Heaslip. Parker's a big man. There were two men out wide, and just Heaslip across the cover.
Not to take away from Parker, who's a very good player, you know, great feet, but poor tackling by Leinster, just hanging off the player there. And you know, you'd hope that Leinster just aren't sitting back here and expecting to win and get the bonus points. They obviously have to put effort in, and it was poor play by Leinster there.
For Parker, that Musto and Thomas, two men outside. It was a narrow channel. It wasn't too far to the touchline. They may not have scored, but they certainly would have got very close. Eric Miller down injured in his final game here. 78th match for Leinster.
Yeah, Eric has just been a great servant to Leinster rugby. He really has. Ever since he broke on the scene, I think it was back in 94, 95. He's just, and then he went off on a sabbatical, we'll call it, to Leicester, and came back again. He's been such a dynamic player for Leinster, and he's been right at the heart of a lot of their great results.
Played for Ulster too, of course, for a short spell.
That's correct.
Eric Miller, lest you forget.
That's silly. Okay, that's obvious catch. Obvious on the deck. Okay, let's cut that out.
Big Mal O'Kelly, 80 caps for his country, most capped Irishman ever. Irvin Dempsey.
That's silly, yeah.
Slicing the ball slightly. Ben Gissing warming up on the touchline below us here.
That is a warm-up for Gissing. No fear of jogging there.
And Miller not quite getting his hands on the ball, knocked forward. Advantage to the Ospreys. Matthew Jones to Sonny Parker. He really fired the ball like a torpedo there at Parker. It wasn't a great pass because Parker, trying to run onto the ball there, had to almost take it behind him. And the knock forward scrummage to Leinster.
Great play by Leinster at the break then. They contested for that ball. Great play by Jamie Heaslip, you know, just giving that added bit of momentum at the very end, and causing the referee to give the scrum to Leinster.
Michael Cheika just taking a visit down to the touchline to deliver a few instructions. Better scrummage, called to Pomey. I saw a big gap down this left hand side. Caruana had to come right across from the far wing.
It was just great awareness of space by Felipe. Just took one look up. The fullback would have watched Felipe's shoulders there. He would have noticed that Felipe was looking like he was going to kick wide for the corner, the wipers kick as they call it. And at the last second he changed and he kicked for the blind side.
Johnny Bolton is on the pitch, number 22. So there's been a little bit of chopping and changing in this Ospreys backline, which I'll sort out for you as soon as I've worked it out myself. Terblanche has left the field. I think Caruana has gone to fullback, which means Bolton will probably be in the centre, but we shall see. He may have moved on to the wing where he normally plays. Anyway, Leinster attacking through Adam Burns here, driving forward. In possession now, the Australian. Easterby waits. He wants it. He may not need it. Here go Leinster, a metre short. Screams of knock on, but back for a penalty to Leinster. Number 8 coming in from the side, Andy Lloyd.
Just wait for the boys.
I think Chekas was slightly annoyed there because it was a great Leinster line out, great driving maul, and just at the very last second they just lost their shape, and if they just kept tight, kept their body heights low and just kept driving forward, I'm sure that would have been a try, but he's obviously signaling to his players there that he wanted to kick for the corner and to go for the bonus point.
Malcolm O'Kelly's taken up a position at the tail here, and it goes towards O'Kelly. Good athleticism by the second row forward. Twice a lion, of course, and now they drive for the line. So close this time. Bernard Jackman waits, and Malcolm O'Kelly's over the line, but they're held up, quite clearly held up there. Good defence by the Ospreys, to be fair, but Leinster will get the put into the scrummage.
Let's go with the scrum. I'm quite happy.
It was well done by Malcolm there, great athleticism, great hands just to hold on to the ball, great skills, but I think if Leinster had watched Munster last night, or just, I'm sure they didn't really want to watch that video last week of the game on Sunday, last Sunday, just Munster there, they would have just held their shape and would have been patient and they would have driven forward, and you can be rest assured that Jerry Flannery, if he was in that position, would have scored a try. But
yeah, so they scored a couple of tries like that last night, actually, against the Borders, did Munster. And Fogarty got one of them, and David Wallace the other. Adam Burns being replaced by Ben Gissing. Gissing from Auckland in New Zealand, and 6 feet 7 inches tall. So a good line-out option. The only problem is he's quite difficult to lift because he's so big.
Break off. Boys. Calm down. Crouch. Engage.
Just watch for the Heaslip pick up and go here. There he is. Takes on Jonathan Thomas, and there he goes. I've seen him do that so many times. Easterby with a dummy. Jackman twists and turns and spirals. And surely touchdown this time. It's held up again, says Chang Lang.
Never down.
Well, Chang Lang was very, very close there. He was in a good position, to be fair to the Scottish referee. Well, let's see if we can get a better perspective from here.
great strength by Jamie Heaslip here, though, keeping the ball alive as well. Great ball presentation. Guy Easterby did well to draw 1 or 2 men. Did he get the ball down? I don't know.
No, it's very difficult to tell from those replays. And the referee was in a much better position than our cameraman, I suppose you'd have to say there. So that would have to be the right decision. If he's not certain the ball hasn't been touched down, he has to give it as held up. And it's advantage though to Leinster with the put into the scrummage. There's Bernard Jackman, capped by Ireland on the Japanese tour last year. 3A caps as well.
Easy. There's the mark. Wait. Don't do anything. Don't do anything. Crouch and hold. Break up. Break up. You're not going to dictate it, boys. Wait. Wait. Crouch and hold.
Will Green, 32 years of age on this tight head side, but still working on the scrummaging technique with Rolly Meats. And Will Green, they say, is a true professional here at Leinster, despite all the success with Wasps. And taken quickly by Jamie Heaslip, but they're going to have to come back. The referee's not happy with that. Penalty to Leinster.
Driving up.
And penalised as Duncan Jones. And Leinster going for the post.
The angle, the body angle's all wrong. Across, number 1. Okay, I'll watch that, yes. Go back now.
Just an aside, Mark, you just have to admire the Leinster supporters here tonight. I know possibly not in the numbers that they would have hoped for, though it's still a very sizable crowd. Just hearing the chanting and singing there, which I don't think I've really heard a Leinster match prior to a few weeks ago after the Toulouse game, and it's great that it's kind of carried on, and hopefully to build on it for this season and bring it into next season as well.
So Condapomi, the scorer of all but 5 of Leinster's points tonight. Only Guy Easterby has interrupted his personal avalanche.
Keep right, boys.
Up goes Shane Horgan. He so often takes those restarts, and it's a good option. 6'4", good hands.
Come down, 7. Come down. Right. Okay.
And again, a good clearance by Dennis Hickey.
Just takes the pressure off the Leinster team when it's something to execute as well as that. Shane Horgan got up fantastically well there. Great take, and you know, Guy Easterby had time of the ball and back to Dennis Hickey, and he struck the ball beautifully and is now back into the Ospreys half.
Hugh Bennett goes to Jonathan Thomas, and that's well played by Malcolm O'Kelly. Bernard Jackman needs to run straight here. Ben Gissing in support on the halfway line. Easterby looks up. Keith Gleeson is on the wide outside. Here's Shane Horgan. Well over 15 stone, hard man to stop, but he's driven back well, and now it's Darcy for Leinster. Easterby. Condapomi looking for more magic, and he's done it again. That superb stuff once more. Condapomi needs support inside. Hasn't quite got the pace to get outside Johnny Vaughton, but sets the ball well. It's Penn Gissing it out half. Now Gordon Darcy. He gets around Sonny Parker, and eventually the tackles come in from the Ospreys. Easterby, ball was out. Jason Spice was quite right in what he did there, and Andy Lloyd goes down on the ball. But again, Peter, wonderful stop from Felipe.
Oh, just fantastic. Under a bit of pressure, a slight bit of time there, he took the ball over. Great retake, and signaling to Shane Horgan there that he wanted to go back inside, and you know, just great play, just great flair and creative work from him.
Here's big Mal O'Kelly with that little touch of the Dick Turpins there, and the line out from him. Good to see them competing this week. The line out for Leinster has been a bit of a mishmash in recent matches.
That was against you for coming in, so I want you driving
they
straight.
were certainly dreadful in that department in the first half against Llanelli.
On the body angle, please, go straight.
I don't think anybody was quite sure who was jumping when.
Yeah. The last one was okay, but last one was okay.
It's great for Mal as well, just to be coming back into it. You know, he would have suffered personally from last weekend's result as well. I know he would have been very disappointed just with the loss, and also maybe just a couple of facets of play, you know, especially around O'Gara's try, and you know, just to see him jumping there, and he's getting around the park tonight, and he's really held high, and he's playing well.
Yes, he was certainly outplayed by Paul O'Connell last week. Piece in the Irish Times today which lists the 7 wonders of Paul O'Connell. I might mention 1 or 2 if I get
there's only 7
chance later on. Only 7 they could think of. That's Jason Spice. That's Gavin Henson now. White booted, chipped forward, and it's Skirvin Dempsey in possession, but gives the ball away, and the ball now spun in field to Carauna. Played fullback last week against Llanelli, so he's used to that position. It's not that he's playing out of place, and the advantage knocked forward by Leinster going to the Ospreys. Can they break? Here's Jason Spice, comes off Matthew Jones, so we'll come back for the scrummage. And
he's okay.
But he was hit there, I think, by Gissing.
Thank you, guys. That's okay. Let's go back, please.
Which isn't pleasant.
I think he just saw the figure Ben Gissing looming there, and I just don't think he wanted that ball.
We've got a man down, guys.
But just the Ospreys are just losing control of the ball. Like you could see earlier on when Sonny Parker held on to it and went for the break and just really ran at Leinster, let the gaps do appear, and they've just kicked the ball away now a couple of times, or just a couple of unforced errors themselves.
While there's an injury, the 7 wonders of Paul O'Connell, according to the Irish Times, one of them is by pulling on both ends, Paul O'Connell can stretch diamonds back into coal. It also says Paul O'Connell sleeps with the light on because the dark is afraid of him. And Superman has a pair of Paul O'Connell pyjamas. And finally, before the bogeyman goes to sleep at night, he checks under the bed for Paul O'Connell. Good humour by the Irish Times this morning.
How do they find these things out?
Straight up. Go back. Go back. Straight up.
Well, front row infringement there is Ronan McCormick. 38 games for Ulster in his time there. Let's have a look at that scrummage again. McCormick on the loose head side, Green on the tight head side. There you see McCormick just popping through, and the penalty given immediately by David Chang Meng. And over the top of Bader, but it's Spice who gets his hand to the ball. Here's Jonathan Thomas, who tries to hand off Contapomi, which he does pretty successfully. Spice going in the big blind side through Sonny Parker. Matthew Jones playing scrum half, Jason Spice in the standoff position now. Gavin Henson, he's well tackled by Miller, and Malcolm O'Kelly, it looked like he was over the ball there but not releasing, stayed on his feet did O'Kelly as the ball was coming out, but the referee's given the penalty against the Ospreys, and Leinster try to move it quickly here through Contapomi and Gordon Darcy, who's upended by Hugh Bennett. Not 10, says the referee, playing advantage over. Oh, what a dummy by Jamie Heslip. Now he's got Guy Easterby outside him, and Easterby inside the 22 will canter in for his second try of the game, and that must surely seal the points for Leinster tonight.
Great play by Leinster, very well done. Bernard Jackman and Jamie Heslip attacking the blind side, did so well, just offloading in the tackle. And Guy Easterby, he's just had a fantastic night tonight. He's just playing extremely well, belying his years. And he's just see Guy here, you know, Jamie, he's a ball in two hands. Defender's not sure which way he's going to go, and there's Guy just outstripping the defence. You know, he's a very, very quick player, and he's just had a great night tonight. Well done.
Well, Caruana bought the most subtle of dummies here from Jamie Heslip.
Some footballer.
Oh, he is. He's an all-rounder. And Easterby in support. Fabulous support, good running by Easterby. So exactly what was going on. And the conversion from Contapomi. And he's missed this time, and Leinster will top the Celtic League again tonight. Good news for Michael Cheika and his charges, which puts the pressure on Cardiff and Ulster next week, who meet at Ravenhill. That's a live game on Setanta. 35 he may be, but he can still move Guy Easterby. And he's, look at him, he was so aware, looking all around him, right and left.
Great take, Malcolm O'Kelly again.
No Gerben Dempsey at the moment. He was off the pitch momentarily. He's now standing on the left wing. All smiles this week from Contapomi. It was tears on Sunday and recrimination.
You can't underline how important that try was. Just the timing of it. Leinster were just looking a little bit disjointed. They hadn't really put any face of play together, and for it to come away with a try like that, one might say slightly against the run of play, and it's 3 tries, 1 more to go, get the bonus point.
Wyn Jones wins the ball. Here's Gavin Henson, gets it to Sonny Parker. He's hard to stop, you know, Parker. And he can move to Caruana, trying to roll over the line. Owen Spice, and he knocked the ball forward there. Yep, he did, and he would have probably been in there.
Great break here by Sonny Parker, great feet. Poor tackling really by Leinster, but they recovered well, scrambled it back, and they just put a lot of pressure here at the breakdown. And Eric, you would just wonder, could he be accused of diving into that ruck and interfering with the scrum half, but got away with it.
That's in. Free kick, that's crazy.
Free kick to the Ospreys though.
Scrum called.
Well, they're going for the scrummage. Jonathan Thomas, the versatile back row forward, again in the number 8 position, where of course he's played many times for the Ospreys. The front row's collapsing there. Of that scrummage again.
Come to me, please. Come to me. Here's the mark.
Reggie Corrigan has a calf injury, that's why he's missing this game.
Correct. Engage. Let's go.
Jonathan Thomas controlling the ball. And the pick up, and here's Spice, and there's the try. Simple as you like. Johnny Bolton, the 24-year-old Wales under-21 international, scores the try for the Ospreys. It might be a little bit too late for them, but it was very well executed.
Very, very simple try, really, you have to say. You know, very, very solid scrum by the Ospreys, but
yeah, thank you.
you'd wonder why Leinster didn't have another man round down the blind side, whether it's the out half or the full back, you know, especially with the back row 8, 9, 14 move like that. It's just very easily conceded and just a very easy try.
Conor Jackman leaves the field. He'll be replaced by Brian Blaney. Gavin Henson creeps up to the ball and misses that left-hand post. It's almost like he's sneaking up behind someone to mug them.
It's definitely a very unique style.
Yes. Condapome. A little bit deep this time, no problem for James Bader, but he's tackled by Keith Gleeson. Former Australian A international Jason Spice and Matthew Jones to Gavin Henson. Oh, the interception. Leinster come away with the ball. In a good position here, that's Jamie Heaslip as well. He's had a good game tonight as the number 8. Well inside the Ospreys 22 now. Condapome, and this time they've lost the ball as he tried to create another little bit of magic. Not this time.
Hold off. Move tackler.
Ruck ball, Heaslip setting it for Kieran Lewis. That's one for Dennis Hickey to chase. Underneath it is Shane Horgan. Oh, took it well. Shane Horgan needs support. He had it from Malcolm O'Kelly too. The ball went backwards. Here's Condapome, a little bit isolated. Good ball to Darcy though. Goes back to the comfort of the forwards. Wasn't held there, Darcy. Stayed on his feet. Now driven on by Blaney. And here's Keith Gleeson. Gleeson caught round the neck. The referee playing the advantage here to Leinster, and they should take full advantage, and they have done through Jamie Heaslip, and that's the bonus point for Leinster, and that's exactly what they needed. They stay in contention to become the Celtic League champions for a second time.
Great play by Leinster there. Just Condapome, there was nothing on outside, so he put it high up and under. Shane Horgan gathered very well. Just good little run here by Gordon Darcy, never gave up, just kept pumping the legs, getting up, getting the extra yards, bit of go forward. And Felipe just shows just fantastic hands here now in the second. You know, Keith Gleeson read it very well. You can see him hanging off here a bit. Condapome ran at the player, eyeballed him. Keith Gleeson did very well to retain it, and Guy Easterby comes in, very quick ball out to Jamie Heaslip, and great try.
Just watching Jonathan Thomas there again. He does put in quite a few high tackles, arms round the neck, but once more Condapome eyes straight forward and offloading the ball to a supporting player, and it's a wonderful skill.
See, the defender can't move off you. If you're eyeballing him, he doesn't know where you're going to go yourself, and Condapome is able to read it, so he won't pass if the defender moves off him, and he will if he does.
Just lost his kicking boots at the moment. There's Keith Gleeson, just caught round the shoulders and neck by Jonathan Thomas. It wasn't that vicious on that occasion, but he has been guilty of it on, well, more than once, that's for sure.
which is very quick ball there by Leinster. They recycled very, very quickly, and they just stretched the Ospreys defence and found the gaps, and the gaps are out wide.
Well, he's created a try for Easterby, now he's scored one himself. Bernard Jackman receiving some ice treatment on the bench there. A man who broke his leg in December and came back while the 39-year-old penalty to Leinster. They'll no doubt run this. That's Eric Miller. Can he finish his career here in Dublin with a try? Dennis Hickey looks for the gap, then gets support from Ben Gissing. Driving run from the Aucklander. Easterby waits. Hickey's now in midfield. There's Contepomi, one for Darcy to chase. And the ball just bobbling into touch. Richard Musto letting it go. 10 minutes to play. And Leinster all set to pick up 5 points here, which will take them to 64, 4 points clear of Ulster, but having played one match more. Not quite sure why they're covering their eyes there, unless that's a rogue Ospreys supporter.
Okay, just number 8.
Jimmy Heaslett leaves the field, having played extremely well here tonight. And it's Niall Ronan who's on, the 23-year-old open side. Contepomi is down injured. Looks like a thigh problem. They certainly don't want to lose him in the countdown over the last few weeks of the Celtic League.
He certainly seems to be struggling there somewhat, alright, with an injury. But Jamie Heaslett tonight has been excellent, especially going forward. He's been very quick off the scrums. The scrums have been under a little bit of pressure, alright, from the Jones boys at propping, and they've put Leinster come under a little bit of pressure. He's done very well, and just even with the ball in open play, his awareness, his footballing skills are just excellent, and he plays
just hold him there,
like a back when he's in open space. He's just got that type of awareness of space and players around him.
Well, the match is won now, so I wonder why they're keeping Contepomi on the field. There's a bit of a risk if he is carrying an injury. You can see that right thigh is pretty heavily strapped anyway.
You got to wait for the whistle.
And with 3 matches to play in the Celtic League and a chance of winning it, he's so key to this Leinster side. It's impossible to overstate. That's taken by Ian Evans. Matthew Jones, they have to run it. Gavin Henson. I have to say, Henson's run a lot laterally tonight. There hasn't been much go forward about his play, and maybe still lacking a bit of match confidence, if you like.
I'd agree with that. He is running across the pitch. The Leinster defender is able to drift off and cover the guys on the outside, and it's not the first time he's given a poor pass tonight.
Crouch and hold. Wait. Crouch. Engage. Let's go. Use it. Ball's out. Ball's out.
A bit mucky in there. The ball's out.
Play on.
Eric Miller got his hand on the ball and pushed it back on the Leinster side for Guy Easterby. Again, Ben Gissing in midfield. There's Contepomi again. Can't get past James Bader this time. Will Green drives in. Gordon Darcy isolated on this blind side, tackled by Duncan Jones.
Use it. Use it. Get away, Black. Away, Black. Use it.
Contepomi. A good tackle. Good hit there. I think that was Hibbard, the replacement hooker. Contepomi runs straight into Hibbard this time. 17.5 stone of replacement hooker. Shuddering impact.
Great defence by the Ospreys there. Just Leinster kept going backwards. You know, you just wonder why Felipe Contepomi just didn't kick the ball, put it behind like he's been doing earlier on in the half. Just running into a wall there. Very good, aggressive Ospreys defence, and they get a line out. Or sorry, penalty I should say, leading to what should have been a line out.
Knock on.
Knock forward, says the referee.
Knock on. And knock on. Time off, get away.
And there's
Subs.
an injury, I think. No, it's a replacement coming on. Number 21 for the Ospreys is Andrew Bishop, the top scorer this season in the Celtic League for the Ospreys, and Emmett Byrne will soon be on for Leinster. And also Johnny Hepworth, the former rugby league player. There he is, just ambling on.
You be captain. Wait.
Pondapome is off, and listen to the cheer. Hugely deserved.
Hands away.
And the Ospreys. And so Gavin Henson put under pressure. Ball went back off his hand. He was tackled by Keith Gleeson. Gets a little bit of help as well from Brian Blaney. And now Jonathan Thomas taking on 3 defenders. One of them, Eric Miller, who's battled hard all night. Ben Gissing made the initial tackle there for the Leinsterman. And spun out wide there by Martin Roberts, the replacement scrum half on for the Ospreys. Henson, nowhere to go, lots of defenders around him, no Osprey support. And Leinster getting the penalty. And that so often happens in those situations when a player becomes isolated. Well, it's almost instinctive to hold on to the ball. Now that's a little bit worrying. That thigh obviously causing a problem before the game. And there'll be a lot of work to be done to that particular area of his anatomy before the next game against Glasgow. For Leinster's sake, we hope he'll be okay. And Byrne will come on. And Will Green is the man who's being replaced, the 4 times capped Englishman. Emmett Byrne, 9 caps for Ireland. A warrior, as they call him here. Goes to the tail to O'Kelly. Good two-handed take. Again, as Peter McKenna pointed out, very athletic, and they're going to get the penalty for offside.
Well offside.
Leinster, and inside the final few minutes. Just watch O'Kelly here.
There you go. Yeah, we came in from the side. Well offside.
The 9th player, by the way, to have played over 100 games for Leinster. So Leinster looking for another try here. Dempsey into the corner.
Three black.
Kai Griffiths looking to come on for the Ospreys, the replacement prop.
Wait for the sub.
And Jones has been replaced. Alan Jones is off. Blaney didn't go where it was intended to, but Leinster won the ball anyway. It's ruck ball. Keith Gleeson's there. So too Ronan McCormick. Gleeson's the man who picks the ball up. Goes Niall Ronan, now Blaney.
Hands away. Stay back. It's okay. Play on. Hold back.
That's O'Kelly. Ronan McCormick on his shoulder.
It's okay.
Guy Easterby is held, the ball was out.
Use it.
Good tackle by Richie Pugh. Use it, says Chang Lang. And they do, and they drive.
Hands off.
Johnny Hepworth waits. In comes Hibbard,
Hold it there. Hold.
adding his element of muscle. Hepworth fires the ball out.
Hands away.
Easterby, good decision, there was nobody to his right.
Balls away.
It's good play this from Leinster, and they go over the line again. It's another try, and it's scored by Niall Ronan, the replacement back row forward. And Leinster finishing this game in some style.
It's a fantastic try by Leinster. Just great patience, you know. There must have been 6-7 phases put together by Leinster. There wasn't much on outside because, you know, the Ospreys have marked up very well, and that's something they have done tonight is defend well. And it was just good.
That's good.
Patient play. They take and drive, good clear out. Nobody lost the cool. There was no white line fever, as it's called, and it's a well-deserved try.
Difficult games for different reasons for Munster and Leinster over the last 2 days. Munster playing in front of 47,000 here last week, and then turning up in Netherdale in front of just over 1,000, but putting in a good performance, having made 8 changes. And Leinster, of course, after suffering that crushing defeat, well, they've come back extremely well here at Lansdowne Road. By the way, they've never been beaten here in the Celtic League. They've now won 7 out of 7 as Robert Carney misses that conversion attempt. 4 minutes of injury time will be played. Carney equally happy on the wing or at full-back. Former Ireland under-19 and Irish schools captain. Kieran Lewis hasn't seen too much of the ball tonight on the right wing for Leinster.
Pull back.
O'Mara
Advantage.
trying to work a little move there with
Advantage.
number 21 Johnny Hepworth. No, it's Hibbert who's hit hard by Hepworth.
Advantage over.
Not afraid of tackling in rugby league, of course. Johnny Hepworth, who played for Castleford, Leeds Rhinos and the London Broncos. And that ball was forward to Johnny Vaughton, the try scorer for the Ospreys.
The intent was right, it was just a poor execution, just ever so slightly forward, releasing the players to the outside. Just listen to that support for Leinster tonight, it's been fantastic. You know, the Leinster faithful, they've never lost hope. They've come here tonight, bank holiday weekend, and it's been great, you know, on the Bowrons and shouting their support.
Well, Leinster haven't looked like D4 dilettantes or Brown Thomas shoppers tonight, which was what they were accused of being in the papers in the build-up to the Munster game.
Hold there. Hold. Come in, Black.
Easterby, great night for him. 2 tries for the Yorkshire-born Irish international.
Hold. You set the gap.
Michael Cheika will be cocking an eye now at the Celtic League title, taken by Alan Wynne-Jones. 2 minutes to play. Leinster defending there with strength. Here goes Hibbert. He's hard to stop. Good tackle by Gleeson. And they've numbers here. And it's the replacement prop forward Kai Griffiths who goes from the line. In comes Jones. Jumping all over them at Byrne. He was on the wrong side there.
Calm down. Calm down. Calm down. Calm down.
But Emma Byrne's a tough man. He can take a shoeing.
Wait.
He certainly stopped the try.
Yes, I know what you
No,
mean.
it's a penalty. You're slowing the ball down. Get your bodies out there. Get on the line. Yes, you can move.
Now the referee's given the penalty. No yellow cards in this match tonight. You might well have given 1 or 2.
I'm surprised Emma didn't get a yellow card there right for that.
No point, lads. Yeah, I'm watching. Seconds in. Touch, engage. Steady. That's not steady. Back. Let's concentrate on the scrum. Wait. Square. Square. Wait. Crouch. Engage. Let's go.
They're going to get the free kick here. Martin Roberts not happy. Jonathan Thomas goes himself and goes for the line.
It's okay. Hands off. Hands off. Use it. Use it.
Roberts spins it wide. Gavin Henson twists and scores the try despite the attentions of Kieran Lewis. But it's nothing more than a consolation for the Welsh.
In fairness, Henson did well here. He spun spun out of Ben Gissing's supporting tackle there, and he scored a try. But he's done very little really tonight. He's kicked quite well, and that's about all he's done really.
And that's it. I think the final whistle has gone. The referee David Changlang says thank you very much. That will do us nicely. And Leinster have won by 38 points to 21. Peter McKenna, your thoughts on that all-round performance by Leinster tonight, considering the hammering and the pulverising they took at the hands of the Red Army last week?
And that's it exactly, Mark. You know, they've done extremely well tonight. They've exercised the demons. They've got the show back on the road. Wouldn't be the most polished display by Leinster side, but listen to those supporters. They're loud, they're proud, getting right behind their team, and they got the bonus point. They got the win, and that's what they wanted.
And Conor Bowman's display. Contepome tonight. It's really, you can't talk enough about this guy. Coming back from last weekend when there was so much hype about him, he didn't perform. He's the first to admit it, and he's come out tonight and he's just shown displays of brilliance, leading to the tries. He's kicked well, his handling has been exceptional, and he, once again, the general is back and he's playing better than ever.
Well, Contepome definitely the star tonight for me, and Leinster have picked up a bonus point here tonight. They've beaten the Ospreys by 38 points to 21. They go back to the top of the Celtic League. And that's it from Dublin, Lansdowne Road, and let's go back to the studio.
Not quite erasing the memories of last Sunday, but an important victory for Leinster nonetheless. Jim Glennon, has this put the Leinster bandwagon back on a roll?
I wouldn't say quite on a roll yet. I think it has restored a bit of stability to it. I think that would be the best way of putting it, Matt. They got their bonus point. They got a good win. It was quite a workmanlike performance, but they conceded a few soft tries as well. Admittedly, at a stage when the bench had begun to be emptied and the game was beginning to lose its shape. But I think they'll be reasonably happy with tonight's performance, and certainly they got a very good reception from the crowd, which I thought was very, very important as well. It's another brick in the wall towards the Celtic League, but I don't think they'll be celebrating too much tonight.
And Neil Francis, a tough run-in left. There are 3 matches left away to Glasgow, Cardiff and Edinburgh. Is there enough there to say the momentum now can carry through the 3 away matches?
Well, that was an imperfect performance. I think they will get better if they can sort of keep their concentration. The long run in another 3 weeks, and they're looking over their shoulder what Munster are doing, and they scored from avenues that I wouldn't have expected. It wasn't a typical Leinster performance.
Well, they're certainly getting the response from the crowd today at Lansdowne Road. This crowd, you were worried about that, Jim Glennon, how the crowd would react. Would they even turn out?
I was very worried whether they'd even turn out, but it seems a reasonably good crowd turnout, although it's very difficult to put a number on it. But it's interesting to see them there on the pitch. I probably acknowledging that the support tonight, because it was stronger than usual. There's no doubt about that. The crowd seemed to be making a big effort to appreciate the players, and it's good to see the players now appreciating the crowd. Maybe that's the first lesson that they have learned from Munster. There's a long way to go before the Munster rapport can be created, but tonight was certainly a step in the right direction.
But Neil Francis, we'll get to the table in a couple of moments, but this effectively is Leinster's title to lose, isn't it, the Celtic League? If they win their last 3 matches, get a couple of bonus points, it's there for them.
Yeah, I think Ulster and well, certainly Munster again, if they can keep their concentration. But Ulster, I think, have a difficult run in as well.
Well, they have 2 home matches. They have Cardiff and Borders at home and an Ospreys away. Yeah. And would you expect Ulster to win their home games in Ravenhill?
You would, yeah. I wasn't sure I'd written them down there. I thought they had Clonettley. Sort of away. Now I'm not sure. You can check that, but
Munster have to go away to Clonettley.
Do they? All right. Okay. Yeah. Ulster. You favour. Sort of a mistake. It might.
Sorry, Ulster are away to Clonettley. You're right. Yeah. My apologies.
It might come down to bonus points. That's the way you sort of. So they'll have to play a type of game that's geared towards sort of scoring 4 tries and getting 4
okay,
points.
I believe now that we actually have probably the man of the match tonight, definitely after his disappointment last week. Felipe Contepome should be standing by with us with Hugh Cahill at Lansdowne Road. We'll just wait and get the pictures of Felipe Contepome there waiting for us. He had a fantastic match just before we get to him, Jim Glennon. We will go to him. He is there. We now go to Felipe Contepome.
Felipe, congratulations tonight. Pretty good win and pretty hard physical game by all accounts.
Yeah, I think Ospreys are very physical, and well, we knew that it was a crucial game because it was from the last 4 games. This was the only one we are playing home, and always the home advantage, you have to take it,
The first 10 minutes maybe took you a while to warm up, but after that you seemed very aggressive. Was that a game plan to go out and play as well as you did?
Yeah, well, we would have liked to start from the first minute, but we obviously against Welsh teams with that 4-up defence and that they do, you need to be aggressive, and I think the forwards played a wonderful game and gave us some going forward ball, and then we could match some good plays.
How hard was it to get up for this match, considering the disappointment of last weekend against Munster?
Well, you have to get over. It's obviously it's a disappointment because it was our chance to to go and to a final of the Heineken Cup. But when you're well beaten, you have to get over. We try to play a very risky or a very ambitious game, and we just need to keep trying the same, but getting better at that game, at that style of game. We only been 8 months with this coach, and I think we played some good rugby. Now we are top of the league. We have a lot to look forward to, 3 more games all away, and I think we need to perform.
Okay, well listen, thanks very much for talking to us. Congratulations. Thanks.
Man of the match, Felipe Contapome there. Neil Francis and Jim Glennon will continue their analysis after this break.